The United States is sending a big delegation to Munich, including Secretary of Defense Mark Esper and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, a sign that Washington wants to counter accusations that it is disengaging, says analyst Elizabeth Braw.
As we speak, actually, the US is beginning its largest military exercise in Europe in a quarter century, and that's worth remembering when we talk about the US disconnecting or disengaging from Europe.
Washington's biggest showdown in Munich is likely to be with Iran after the US targeted killing of top Iranian general Qasem Soleimani early this year and the retaliatory airstrikes by Iran on US bases, which culminated in the Iranian military's accidental shooting down of a Ukrainian Airlines passenger jet. But conference host Wolfgang Ischinger hopes the conference will offer a lifeline for the Iran nuclear deal.
An ihm festzuhalten, aber darauf aufzubauen.
To stick to it and to expand on it through negotiations on ballistic systems, regional security architecture, the fight against terrorism. Could Iran stop supporting Hezbollah? Question mark. Such questions as this.
The killing of Soleimani on Iraqi soil triggered a backlash from Baghdad and a vote in the Iraqi parliament to expel the 5,000 US troops in the country. NATO is discussing taking over the training mission for Iraqi forces battling Islamic State, a proposal welcomed by Defense Secretary Mark Esper, who spoke to reporters off-camera en route to Europe.
To the degree that NATO can offset the U.S. presence, that would over time allow us to bring some forces home.
The conflict in Syria continues to destabilize the Middle East region, with Ankara warning of revenge against Damascus for the deaths of Turkish soldiers in clashes this week. The spiraling war in Libya is also top of the European agenda. There is hope that peace talks may be progressing in Afghanistan, with reports the US and the Taliban could be close to a deal. China's foreign minister will attend the conference against the backdrop of the coronavirus outbreak, the pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong, and US-led efforts to halt the rise of the Chinese firm Huawei. Meanwhile, Russia's support for rebel forces in eastern Ukraine continues to stoke tensions with Europe. France recently called for re-engagement with Moscow.
Many Central and Eastern Europeans would be very concerned if other European countries and the US made overtures towards Russia.
As global tensions soar, leaders from across the world will be confined to this hotel in central Munich for 3 days of what will likely be fiery talks. Henry Ridgewell for VOA News, Munich, Germany.